You know that feeling when your day finally slows down and you just want to relax, unplug, and feel good? That's where Mood.com comes in. They're changing the game, delivering legal THC products right to your door, no shady dealers, and absolutely no medical card required, just good vibes and better sleep, shipped straight from their farm to your couch. From delicious THC gummies, smooth vape pens, to premium THC flower, Mood has it all. And everything's federally legal under the 2018 Farm Bill. Yeah, this isn't some loophole. It's the real deal. Head to Mood.com and use code FIRST20 for 20% off your first order. That's MOOD.com. Find your mood.
Meet Christine. She loves shopping. And this is the sound of fashion overload. Too many fabulous things, not enough space. So Christine started selling with The RealReal.
I've always loved collecting designer pieces. Gucci bags, Prada heels. But my style keeps evolving. Selling with The RealReal? Game changer. I earn more, and they do everything.
Seriously, just drop off your items or schedule a pickup. We handle the photos, descriptions, pricing, even shipping. You just sit back and watch your items sell fast to our 38 million members.
And I get peace of mind knowing I earn more selling with The RealReal than anywhere else.
Exactly. That's the sound of your closet working for you. The RealReal. Earn more, save time, sell fast. And right now, you can get an extra $100 site credit when you sell for the first time. Go to therealreal.com to get your extra $100. Therealreal.com. That's therealreal.com.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back. With nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome everybody to Uncluttered and Unfiltered. We have a really fun show today, or it's meant to be fun. I'm seriously hopeful it will be. We're going to talk about sex again. Our highest rated episode was about sex with Dr. Rebecca Richmond, and we're going to go a little bit of a different angle this time, talk about intimacy when you are 50 or over. But before we get into all of that and introduce our special guest, I have a couple of things I wanted to share with you, Christine. Christine, and you heard this from our introduction, is a professional organizer. I am a professional mistress of chaos. And so I thought maybe I could tell you the 3 things in my life this week that have gone missing.
I can't wait to hear this.
And the reason I'm doing this is that's one of my goals, to stop losing things. I can't have nice things. So the first thing that's missing has been missing for months, and it's my prescription sunglasses, but I'm starting to really miss them right now because summertime, it's after Memorial Day. So that's thing number 1.
Oh, that's a big thing, though.
It's a very expensive thing.
I was going to say they're very expensive, and also it makes a difference on what you can see and what you can't see. So that's a big one.
Precisely. Number 2, 1 AirPod. So I can tell you exactly where they went missing. I had them on at the dog park, and then instead of putting them in the case, I threw them into my fanny packs. I already know your answer there is going to be, why would you not put them in the case?
Yes.
It would have been one more step. So I know that.
Okay.
And then the third thing, I think I may have thrown away my Mother's Day gift. I think because it was a wine stopper.
Yeah.
I think maybe the bottle was empty, but I restopped it back up, and it might have been thrown away. Like, I think my husband might have even picked it up, shook the bottle, and said, empty. And it's gone. So this really nice...
Well, that's a different situation, though. That's like almost an accident. And yeah, we'll blame that one on him.
We're going to blame it on him, even though he says, I never throw away your wine bottles. I never know what you're up to with
Or
those
my
things.
husband always say, I don't know what you're talking about. I never saw that.
Exactly.
It's
so
denial.
I actually replaced that.
Okay.
I went out. I told her, I confessed to my daughter and replaced it. It was really nice. Okay. The glasses. When you're switching back and forth glasses from regular to prescription to, reading to non-reading, I can't keep track of them.
I know. Well, and being a contact wearer, a glasses wearer, that is one thing. I have this paranoia that I am going to lose my prescription glasses because I only wear contacts during the day and then I take them out and put my glasses on. So I have to tell you, I have a certain spot in my nightstand with all my glasses. They're in cases because if you travel, you just want to be able to grab them. And I have a tray in my bathroom so that when I take my glasses off to put my contacts in, they're sitting right there. I think these are the type of things, not only are they expensive, but they affect how you live your everyday if you lose them. So everyone thinks, well, I'll just go buy more and more and more. And you see people go to Costco and get 12 sets of reading glasses. And that's fine if you're going to have them all over and they're just cheaters. But when it comes to prescription, that's a different story. So you have to have a system, either, taking off your glasses and leaving them in the same exact spot in your bathroom, which I think is the ideal place. You wear contacts, don't you?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I can't.
Okay.
I've tried.
Okay, so that's even more important because then you are going to take them from place to place to place. So if you only have one pair of prescription glasses, I would suggest you do the buy one, get one free type because you got to have more than one pair, especially you, because you lose everything. But,
now, okay. So that is the problem. I don't make sure to put them in the same place every time.
Especially at our age, you have to put things back in the same spot so you remember where you put them.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. And then everything's always fuzzy for me anyway, half of my life. So the AirPod, I think we know what I did wrong there. And I'm not the only one who's losing AirPods because I went on eBay and you can buy single AirPods from everyone else who's lost their AirPods. Well,
what I have learned about AirPods, number one, I had to get a case that was kind of not attractive looking in any way because everybody in my family kept thinking my AirPods were their AirPods and it drove me crazy. So I got a case that is totally different and it has a little clip on it. And so instead of just shoving it in a purse or whatever, I have a little place to clip it in my purse. And I think clipping it and just taking the AirPods out, putting them in, and then when you're done, they're clipped into your backpack, into your purse, because that's the thing about AirPods is losing the cases. And if you don't keep them in the case, you're going to lose them for sure. I mean, no doubt about it.
Okay. And the thing number 3 we've determined is my husband's fault.
Yes.
Okay, so good. We can talk about sex now?
Yeah, now I'm ready for that.
Thank you so much. So I want to tell you before we bring on our guest that in Sweden, well, actually, let me save this for a icebreaker with her because we are joined now by relationship coach and sex educator, Mary Whitman Ortiz. She's an author and she helps couples who deal with the kinds of things that we hear from you guys come up all the time, and that is in a relationship, things can get, I'm trying to do that, like womp womp in the bedroom. and that can cause issues outside of the bedroom, right?
There's such a ripple effect. It just impacts everything, and it's hard to even know where it started.
Well, I did say that I had a little icebreaker story. So this was in the news today on the day that we are actually recording this. Sweden has now determined that they are going to have the first ever sex championships. There will be 16 categories in these championships, including seduction, massage, and full-on intercourse. Positions will be judged.
Wow.
Imagination, physical fitness, endurance, and workability.
Like out in a park somewhere?
I don't know where they're holding it.
I mean, like in public?
That's literally every fact from what I read, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but that's for professionals. We're all amateurs here, so Mary, why do you think that this, at our age, and I know you deal with couples at all ages, but why do you think this 50 and over age really feels the effects of this?
The differences happening in your body.
Thank you.
It changes everything. And we don't have the one pinpoint age where it begins. Sometimes, like if a woman's pregnant, okay, she has a due date, she can count down. But menopause, aging, it is so varied. It is so unique to each individual, and you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to happen to you, and you don't know how you are going to talk about that with your partner.
You provided us with a list of some of the questions/complaints that are common among women our age. And then Christine followed that up with some conversation with some friends who added in their statements. So why don't we just go down like a list and chat?
Well, the first thing I wanted to ask is, what is the difference between like a marital therapist and a sex therapist?
Well, technically, state by state, there is licensing, there are specific requirements. And Florida is one of that states where you have to have a sex therapy degree to be a sex therapist.
Okay.
And that is not my realm. So I just make that up front. And I have found in so many cases that what goes on in the bedroom started outside of the bedroom.
Yes.
So the fact that I can cover every area, I feel very confident with.
Okay, so really there isn't much of a difference. Like, you're not just talking about sex the whole entire time when you're in a sex therapy session versus like marital therapy, because it does start outside of the bedroom and just leaks into the bedroom.
So true, so true. And people were surprised. They're like, wait, I thought this was a sex problem. And I'm thinking, we have to find out what started it, what you're not talking about that also led to this. It's just that when it happens in the bedroom, it gets your attention. But when it's happening outside, then you can be distracted, you can get busy, but at that moment of intimacy, then you can't hide from it.
Okay, so this is from someone that gave me a question to ask. How do you instruct a guy, because there are a lot of women over 50 out there who are also divorced, on what you do and don't want him to do without bruising his ego? And when would you have that conversation? Like, not in the heat of the moment, or in the heat of the moment, or outside of the bedroom? And so I liked this question.
And not to minimize the fact that even if you've been together for a really long time, these things can change.
Yes.
For sure.
So that's a great question. Mm-hmm. When? Is it like, hey, stop what you're doing and do this differently? Or is it over the candlelight dinner?
I think it's a combination, and probably multiple times that you would have this conversation. So outside the bedroom, you want the maximum setting, whether it is candlelight, whether you're just relaxed having fun, you're on a bike ride together, anytime that there's a genuine flow of conversation, and you want to be prepared. Also, humor helps. Yes. So that there's no bruising, and you can be playful, and you can be teasing, and you can have innuendo. I always encourage couples to have like their code words for intimacy, so that even when they're in public, they can start this banter, and it just opens up dialogue sooner than later. But certainly, when you're in the bedroom, there would be, even if you're not comfortable with being specific with your language, you can certainly guide their hands and their body.
I like that. Okay. And how do you create a more meaningful connection if you've lost that connection?
Woo!
I'm sure that's
where to start.
I know.
Well, let me just go back. I told the story when I first walked in. My husband and I went jet skiing on Saturday all day long. And I actually introduced him to it, so I guess I'm the guilty person. But he loves it. And my point is, we find things that we enjoy doing together. We have created a hobby, and we've made that a priority. So fun is not frivolous. I mean, fun is what helps you to bond together. And the more times that you can do that, then you can face some of those places of conflict and confrontation. So that meaning, that connection, there's just subtle ways to make it be a part of your everyday life.
So in other words, maybe find something that you both enjoy and then invest in it, whether that is a financial investment, like jet skis is clearly a financial investment. For my husband and I, we decided to get stand-up paddle boards. Yeah. And then you have to make yourself actually go and do it, because then what happens is, I'm going to run this morning while you go golfing. And then you have to say, well, now we did. And I'm saying that from a point of view of somebody who needs to remind myself that we did get those boards for a reason.
Right.
To have something we both want to do.
But doesn't that bring it back to lack of communication? And I hear that a lot, especially in women over 50 or women that have been married a really long time. They kind of grow apart and grow in different ways, and you get into your routines. So it would be a matter of how do you get back to reconnecting, recommunicating, and really finding that common ground again when you've lost it.
Yeah. Well, in addition to fun things, you might do challenging things. You might go volunteer, do a river cleanup, go and support some kind of cause and talk about it. Ooh, I was really uncomfortable when that person came up to me and said that. Or, wow, this felt challenging, but I'm glad we're doing it. Just any way, new situations that you choose to talk about.
Okay.
Bring it out in the open.
That. So maybe not something that one or the other of you is the expert.
Yeah.
Something new for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, the first one you said, I mean, there were so many here, but the very first one, my body doesn't respond like it used to with interest or arousal, and there's discomfort during intercourse. And any woman over 50, 55, even 45 for that matter, this is so common.
Mm-hmm. And we did talk with Dr. Richmond when she was on our show, on our Valentine's Day episode, about some physical ways that you can deal with issues like dryness and things like that. But let's talk about a deeper way to confront those feelings.
And talk to your significant other about what's going on.
Yes. So these conversations start in your head first.
I know.
That place of awareness, that place of reality. And maybe there's a girlfriend. I mean, hey, what we're doing right now, bringing these topics out in the open, that is going to help so much to be, it's not just me. Other women are going through this. So that we begin to reduce anxiety by bringing things to the forefront. So that's step one. Step two, creating those places to have those conversations. And then knowing that you're not going to tell your partner everything at that very first time that you talk. So prioritize within yourself. What do you want them to know? A, I'm feeling discomfort. B, I don't feel like we have any romance. C, I want to try something new. Whatever it is where you want to start, that's what you need to kind of coach yourself, get some talking points. And I know that doesn't feel like it's spontaneous, but this is being proactive and creating a plan.
And so when you've been married a long time versus, everything's new and exciting, even if you're divorced and just now back to dating, that can be exciting, which I feel could bring in like where you don't have all the arousal issues or all. But when most women over 50, they're empty nesters, their kids are up and grown or in college, and you're trying to find your way back to each other. Yeah. And so that's why I think it's even harder because you get in a rut and you get used to just what you're used to.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think about that, especially with Netflix and 10:30 at night, these patterns that we have in our life. And are you planning to, stop what you're doing at a certain time just to say, we got to create space for us. And if you get up early in the morning and go run or do anything that you have created structure for, then this gets added to the list. I mean, I often encourage couples to put intimacy on their calendar. Plan for it. And there's a lot of variety of ways that you can make that plan, but certainly just being intentional is going to help.
I told you guys both before we started recording that I had this cartoon in my mind when the kids were little. And it was my version of sex. Okay. So I want you to picture one of these like comic strips from the newspaper back in the day. And you've got one of those help desks like they have at department stores or Kohl's or wherever. You can walk up and return an item or whatever. And you have this long line of people waiting. And there are kids in the line and they keep getting out of line and getting back in the line. And you've got their teachers standing in the line holding workbooks and projects, and you've got the PTA leader with a project for you to sign up for, and then you've got a couple people random there with dirty loads of laundry, and then you finally get through the end of this long line, and there's your husband with his pants down. and in my mind, that's kind of how it was back in the day. Now, I'm not claiming that now that the nest is empty,
Right.
but there was that period in my life where I was just like, oh my God, not you too needing something from me.
Right.
And so I feel like now is the time in our life we do finally, I mean, there are definite conversations that people in that stage of their life should be having, and I'm sure you deal with that. But for those of us who now those kids are out the door, we have to make the time, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yes. And, hey, you can talk about sex over breakfast because your kids aren't at the table.
Oh, that's
How
true.
about that?
I never thought of that.
That's true. We used to always talk about hotel sex because anytime we could go anywhere on a hotel and get a hotel room, my husband was like, yes, because we had little lock pickers, man. You could,
Or
These
the
kids
minute
want-
you'd get intimate, it'd be like, Mom,
I need water.
Mom.
I need some water.
I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
See, these are the things we should be celebrating right now, right?
Yes. And here's a flip side, because when you're younger and you are dodging your parents, you know, fooling around with your dating person, and then now that you're older and you potentially have older parents, maybe they're visiting, and now you're dodging the parents again because, you know, you don't want to have a situation that's uncomfortable for everyone. So you have to find the humor in whatever stage of life that you're in, whether you're creating that guilty pleasure in as you're young or as you're aging.
Interesting.
Well, this one I really had a big reaction from women. I don't like it that we have physical changes to overcome. It's depressing and we can't seem to talk about it. I know we're talking a lot about women, but I think men feel the same way. You know, their bodies have also changed. Their testosterone is lower. And so I think women can sometimes get in their own head that it's all about them and it's all about me. And I think men also are embarrassed and feel weird that, you know, they have a little belly going on there, or they're tired, or, you know, they don't have the stamina, or it takes longer, or whatever the situation is. And so I'm saying equal things, but women, we tend to only think, you know, oh my God, does he look at my cellulite, you know?
And he doesn't, but why can't we get past that either?
Why
But
can't we?
I think you're right. The men do not want to either admit that they might need some assistance,
For sure.
or they just don't ever want to
Or
talk
they
about it.
avoid it,
Yes.
you know, which
Right.
causes problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of fear there in taking ownership. And if women are struggling, usually to talk about it, then usually men are struggling even more. But I have to tell you, I literally have a client who said, you know, I looked down there and I didn't even know if it was still there anymore.
Because of the belly?
Because of the belly, yes. But they were laughing about it as a couple.
Which is
Okay,
good.
so that's
my
huge,
goodness.
right?
For sure.
Yeah.
I have found that laughing with my husband is the best. You know, when we get to that point where we're just in this goofy, punchy mood and we're just laughing, whether it's we're out in somewhere just doing shopping or whatever, or we're home in an intimate situation, there's just nothing that laughter and tears are the two things that really bring you together. If you can do laughter through tears, boy, you must be really, really committed.
Well, the other one that I hear from a lot of people, as well as myself, I'm just too tired. And people are like, well, you know, your kids are gone. You shouldn't be. But I feel like after 50 or 55, I mean, to do all the things I was doing in a day, which is also working, and then he's working full time, I think we're both just tired. I don't think it's one or the other. I think when you are just exhausted, it's, but you're saying then schedule some time in there, because that's an easy way to say I'm just too tired.
Yes. And even for couples to decide ahead of time who's going to initiate. Are we going to pick odd even days, Mondays and Wednesday, and then or Tuesday, Thursday, and then the weekend's open and anybody can initiate? There's just a lot of creative ways to take charge, and then you have something to look forward to. And realizing that Sure, you might plan something that's romantic and takes a little bit of time, maybe some money, but knowing that any time that you can be spontaneous, go for it. Because you don't know when that's going to present itself physically as well as just within the space of your day.
You know that feeling when your day finally slows down and you just want to relax, unplug, and feel good? That's where Mood.com comes in. They're changing the game, delivering legal THC products right to your door, no shady dealers, and absolutely no medical card required, just good vibes and better sleep, shipped straight from their farm to your couch. From delicious THC gummies, smooth vape pens, to premium THC flower, Mood has it all. And everything's federally legal under the 2018 Farm Bill. Yeah, this isn't some loophole. It's the real deal. Head to Mood.com and use code FIRST20 for 20% off your first order. That's MOOD.com. Find your mood.
Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Mental health doesn't have to be a silent struggle. Hearts for Minds is changing the conversation, breaking stigma, and building bridges to better mental health care. Through QPR training and awareness programs, Hearts for Minds is equipping communities with the tools to recognize warning signs and connect people to life-saving support. Whether you're facing a crisis or just need someone who understands, Hearts for Minds is your helping hand. Hearts for F-O-U-R, minds.com, that's heartsforminds.com, and join the movement. Together, we can save lives.
Mary, is there an answer that you could give to somebody who said, all right, how often?
Oh,
I've been married X amount of years, I'm this old, how often? How much is normal?
Well, there are statistics, but my encouragement is always what is mutually satisfying and respectful. So you two talk about it and find out, hey, maybe we used to be at this pace of frequency and now we're at that tired place, but we still want to prioritize us, because I absolutely believe that intimacy bonds you, makes you stronger, and then can get you through some of those tough times in life.
And I also had someone ask this question: is it okay if you're not having intercourse, but you're constantly hugging and kissing and cuddling, and, you know, for some reason or other, they might have something going on health-wise, or your husband has something going on health-wise. It doesn't have to be the actual act, does it?
No, I'm so glad that you said that, because any type of closeness that you're both enjoying, I mean, it's achieving a lot of the same things.
Okay. And then one other thing here. Sex isn't important to me anymore. I could easily live without it. What do you think that means when a woman or a man feels that way in their life?
Well, I always ask, have you gone to your doctor? Have you checked out your hormone situation? There's so many medications that can affect your arousal. Certainly just levels of stress can impact it. Sometimes it could be as easy as taking a pill.
Really?
I know. It's
wow.
Not as often, and I do have women that come into my office and they're like, Mary, where's the switch? Can we just flip it on?
Right.
I want to turn it on. I know it's there someplace. And the pill situation, it still has to be, checked out according to your body and what you need. Hormone replacement therapy, there are just so many options for you or for your partner. But the fatigue thing, I could just do without it, finding out why. Also, some deeper questions of why am I not willing to, put some more effort into this.
My issue is turning my brain off.
Yeah.
Turning my brain off, trying not to the minute it's, we're done saying, okay, so anyway, like I was saying before we started, what do you think about our next vacation being blah, blah, blah? And he's like, you and that brain, this is, at the start of our show, we were talking about how I lose things, and this is the way my brain is. It's just going all the time. Everybody is different, but it's very hard to get in the moment, to be present in the moment. And I'm sure that is something you have experienced too with some of your clients.
Absolutely. The mental yes before anything else happens is what a woman needs to take place. It's a battle. It's work. It is totally effort to go, okay, I can designate this time for intimacy. And truly, if there's nothing, if something you can't suspend for 30 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it takes, then if you can't suspend that, go do it. If there's this need that is so pressing that you can't leave it in your thoughts, then just go do it. But usually, these are things that can wait. Mm-hmm. So just tell yourself, it's okay. House isn't on fire. Whatever you need to run through. Laundry doesn't matter. It could sit in the washer 30 more minutes until I switch it over to the dryer. Then you can give yourself to it. So it is a mental yes before it is a physical yes.
I've had conversations which on the surface might even sound like I'm bargaining, like trying to, offer sex to get chores done. But in reality, the way I see it is more like, listen, this is heavy on my mind. If you could take a few things off my plate, I feel like I can really get present and in the moment. So if you can, leading up to or afterwards, help me with some things, maybe it's even just around the house. Now, on the surface of that, what it sounds like is, listen, if you can promise me you're going to get 4 loads of laundry done and get my car to the car wash today, we're going to go crazy this morning. It's not that. It's just more that, listen, I wake up feeling a little stressed, a little rushed. If I know that my day is a little bit more relaxed, I then am a little bit more relaxed.
Well, and it's wonderful to be that specific. Because if one partner tells the other, just relax. Well,
don't ever say calm down to a woman.
Don't ever say just relax to a woman. Everybody agree out there?
For sure, yeah.
Or what I also hear from women who have been married a long time is, I just want him to tell me I look pretty again. I just want him to give me some affirmation, even if it's a lie. Like that dress looks beautiful, even if they hate it. I think women in general have different needs to get in the mood and feel sexy and feel good about themselves than men do. And women want to be told, you're fabulous. I love you so much. What would I do without you? All those things a woman wants to hear in order to kind of get in the mood. And it doesn't have to be all those things. I'm just saying it, which I believe goes back to our very original thing, which is communication.
Yes. And hey, you can coach your partner about what you want. So if you want to hear some of those specific phrases, write them down, text them, make it be a note on your phone, and then you can elbow nudge, hey, give me one of those phrases. Tell me something nice. Give me some sweet words.
I mean, women are like butter. They'll melt. I mean, they're like...
Yeah. And usually to the same comment.
Yes.
It's not overused.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. I think if you're with somebody long enough, too, they know which things that you really will respond to. Thank you. That maybe I don't need to hear about my clothes or my body because maybe I don't feel today like my body looks the way I like it to look. So go for something I can really buy into. Tell me about my smile. Or, just, did anyone ever
when
tell
you walk in a room, you light up my day. I mean, I know these are corny and cheesy, but women cannot, because in their minds, life is like, a novel, a love novel. And I mean, the smallest little thing just turns them on if it's some sort of gratitude or kindness or feelings. And I think when they did that Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, I think they really had it pretty much dead on there because women respond so differently to things than men do.
Yes, so I actually have an app I created, and I have 3 categories of conversation for couples to engage with one another. And they have to identify their status level, so to speak. So the first one is affection. Do we need more affection? And so there are conversation prompts there. The second one is flirtation, because is the teasing at a low place and we need to kind of jumpstart. And then the third level is passion. And that would be hot, heated, remarks to really get your motor running. And it can change. It will change. But it's like a starting place. And just to recognize, what do we need? What does our relationship need? When you can identify today, it's going to be different tomorrow. But today, what do I need to get to a green light for intimacy? And then you can, be more specific with it.
Do you use the red light, green light, yellow light philosophy? Because you said that as though that was something you were referring to from your practice.
In some ways, green light, I don't think sexual intercourse is the ultimate goal every single time for green light. I think connection is.
Yes.
And like we talked about earlier, that closeness. But it is a visual. So where are we? Do we live at the yellow? Or is this just a season of a red light because of ABC going on in my life, health issues, stress, what have you? Or are we aiming for a few more greens than we usually have? If you can identify it without any type of shaming or judgment, then you're more likely to take those steps.
One last question from me, anyway, and this is going off of our conversation that we agreed upon before we actually went on recording, but it's something I heard you say in another podcast that you were on. It was something referring to, and the reason I just thought of it was Chris mentioned the men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing. So spaghetti versus waffles. Can you talk about that? Because I thought that was so interesting.
Yes. So just picture a waffle in all of the compartments, and men are able to have these thoughts and these thoughts and these thoughts all separated, and they can jump from one to the other and not bring it with them. But women are like spaghetti, that they connect everything, and so they are thinking about what's going on with their kids, what's going on in the neighborhood, what's going on with work, and it all connects. And it's very difficult for women to just go, can I put a stop to how all of that's connecting? And it's a great thing to be in either one of those realms, so I appreciate it. You just have to be aware that's what's going on inside of you.
Well, Christine and I are a prime example of a couple that has to recognize each other's differences to make a relationship work. It's very true. The way we communicate with each other, the way that we recognize that, she's very, very buttoned up, very organized, and I'm the opposite. So I can see why, even though it's a plus for a man to be able to compartmentalize and let that syrup rest in that one little crevice and not move over, as long as I can recognize that, and it doesn't mean he's forgotten that I'm still upset about XYZ, as long as I remember that, it's fine. But it's when I forget and I don't understand or appreciate, why is his brain not working? How are you able to try to push me down on that bed, and not in a violent way? I just want to say, how are you interested in that when, this kid just got a note home from his teacher? Why are we not,
why aren't you concerned about that?
How can you even be thinking about sex at a time like this?
Or at our age, aging parents. I mean, so many people our age are so stressed out dealing with aging parents. And that's on both sides, I think, men as well as women.
Right.
So I think that adds a whole nother layer into the over 55, over 50.
How can you think about sex at a time like this kind of mentality?
Yes, and I'm living in that situation with aging parents, so I can really speak to this. What intimacy does for you is this paradise. It's this getaway. It's this erotic, exotic location you can go to, so you can get away from some of the heaviness. It's not like I'm not respecting and being mindful of this really big thing going on in my life. It's just, I love those people. I love myself. I love my partner enough to know that this getaway is really good for us, and it's going to make everything else better.
Love this.
Good note to end on.
Yes, this was great.
But there are no doubt some people who would like to reach out and learn more. So, Mary, please tell everybody where they can find you.
Absolutely. So my website is marywhitmanortiz.com.
Easy.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's where they can find things that you've written. They can find seminars and coaching and all of the different things that we've discussed. If they wanted to reach out with a personal question, I'm sure that you've made that very easy too. You're very accessible. So we appreciate you being here. I'm sure it won't be the last time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, as we close the show, we've noticed that our sex talks go longer than anything else we ever had ever.
Wow.
Imagine that. So for that reason, we want to invite you to our very exclusive, elite, and very difficult to get into, just kidding, it's super easy, Facebook Ladies Only page, Uncluttered and Unfiltered Ladies Only. Also, those 5 stars that you are able to leave on any platform, those reviews, those actually do help other women find us. Yes. And that's the most important thing to us, that we can reach people who are looking for their people.
Yes.
And remember, with all things, whether it's, you are realizing that you're hitting a new place in your relationship, or you just can't find your glasses, you can let it go.
And don't look back.